Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the iBug Mac training course for Tuesday, May 3rd, 2022. Tonight, we will begin our two-part series on mail. But first, these announcements. Please join us on Friday, May 5th for iBug Night at the Virtual Movies. We have a social at 7:30, the movie at 8, which is Steel Magnolias, followed by a discussion afterwards. Also, stay tuned for the upcoming date for the iBug Cafe, a deep dive training session into an app or group of apps. Then, be sure to enter that drawing for a chance to win a $500 gift card. There is still time. You may purchase a ticket for $10 or 6 tickets for $50. Check our website, ibooktoday.org, and all of our social media channels for the info. And now to our lesson. Rather than go into setting up mail accounts and all that stuff, today we're going to get directly into the nuts and bolts of mail. That is checking for mail, reading messages, navigating in the inbox, and there's actually a few ways to do that, moving messages, responding to messages, and sending messages. We'll talk about forwarding a message, and then actually just creating a new message, and so on. We will also cover dealing with attachments, both including them in emails and downloading them. And then if there's time at the end, we could start the next lesson, but there probably won't be. So next week, plan on an overview of adding email accounts, creating signatures, and going through other mail preferences. To begin, let's open mail. This can be done in one of several ways via the dock, or if you have your keyboard commander enabled, which by the way you do with VO Shift K, you can use then right option M. I have mine set to actually use both option keys because it is kind of a stretch to press the option with one finger on my right hand and try to reach the M with the other. It can be done though. Or you could ask Siri or even go to your applications folder. I am just going to use my favorite navigational tool, the dock, so VOD,
Dock. Mail.
MA.
Mail. 4 of
Guess we're already
25.
there. I'll press
Actions
enter.
available. Zoom us. System dialog. Your mail. Inbox. Chanel 280 messages. Window. Messages table. Cindy Hollis. ACB Community.
Okay, let's begin as we always do at the very beginning of the window with VO Command Home
Close button.
and VO Right.
Minimize button. Full screen button. Inbox. Chanel.
We have the title of the mailbox that's currently in focus,
306 messages. 25 unread.
followed by the number of messages, and then the number of unread,
Toolbar.
and then the toolbar. And as I have always said, we do not really need to use the toolbar, but I'll just show you what's in here, and in hopes that once you download an app or use even an app for the first time on your Mac that is inbuilt, like Pages, you will explore everything that is available on the screen. So that way you can figure out, okay, what's going to work best for you? Are you going to want to go to the menus? Or you might be thinking, oh, I see this in the toolbar, so it's probably going to be in the menu somewhere. You just want to get acquainted with the app. There's no correct way of doing that, but this is a good way. And the more you practice getting acquainted with your Apple default apps, the easier it will be for you to learn third-party apps. So let's interact in this toolbar, VO Shift down arrow.
In toolbar. 13 items. Filter group.
Okay, we have a filter, and I'm going to show you filtering in a little bit later.
Get mail. New message. Archive button. Delete button. Junk button.
All
Move
of these
selected
have
messages
keyboard
to junk.
shortcuts, by the way,
Reply button.
which we
Reply
will
to
find in
sender
the
selected
menu.
message. Reply all button. Reply to all recipients of the selected message. Forward button. Forward selected messages. Flag group. Flag mute. More toolbar items. Pop-up button. Search button. Search button.
That's the end of our toolbar. The search is useful, and I will be showing you, though, how we can bring it up later on by simply pressing Command Option F. When we do that, even if the toolbar is hidden, it will become visible on the screen. Let's
Out of
uninteract
toolbar.
and continue the journey to the right.
Favorites bar group.
Favorites bar. Just like you have favorites in Safari, you can have favorites in Mail. These would be mailboxes that you either access frequently or you move things to quite a bit. The disadvantage with favorites, as of Big Sur, is that there are certain things you have to leave in favorites. If you delete them there, they don't show up in your mailboxes list, which is actually to the right of favorites. Those things are what we call unified mailboxes, such as all trash, all sent, all drafts. And so if you don't have them showing in favorites, they're not going to appear in that mailboxes table. I'll just show you what's in my favorites. To arrange those items, you might want to look at the AppleVis article. It is doable, just a bit beyond the scope of this lesson.
In favorites bar group. 9 items. Toggle sidebar button.
Toggle sidebar. The sidebar is now the mailboxes list. It used to actually be called that. Now it's called the sidebar.
All inboxes. 50. Toggle button. All drafts. 2. Toggle button. All sent. 1. Toggle. All trash. 905. Toggle button. All archive. 32. ACB community. Toggle button.
If I wanted to move to one of these, if I wanted to move to all inboxes, for instance, I could press Command 1. ACB Community would be Command 5, or rather if I wanted to go to. Let's say I wanted to move a message into ACB Community, I could press Control Command 5 and that would go there. I could
All
just make
trash.
sure I
All
count the
sent. All
number,
drafts.
but
All inboxes. 50. Toggle. All drafts. All sent.
3,
All trash.
4,
All archive.
5,
ACB community.
6.
Toggle button.
Okay, so it'd be 6.
Class correspondence. Toggle button.
Similarly, if I have anything from our class, I can move it into the class correspondence by pressing Control Command 7. So those favorite mailboxes can be very handy. You do not need to have the favorites bar showing in order to access favorite mailboxes.
Show more favorites button.
And we can show more. I'm going to uninteract.
Out of favorites bar group. Mailboxes table. Chanel. 47 unread.
And
Selected.
now we have our mailboxes table. I want to go in depth on how to navigate that in just a little bit. But let's go ahead over to the messages table or messages list. Remember, the mailbox table is our sidebar, and so we always have a vertical splitter separating a sidebar from content or from another table. Well, VO right.
Vertical splitter. Messages table. Cindy Hollis, ACB Community Events, Monday schedule, 5/1/22. Hello, precious friend.
And I know I am not at the top. I just pressed Control to silence that speech. But let's go to the top. How do we get to the top and bottom of a message list in Mail? Command Option Up arrow. It combines TextEdit and Finder in a sense, because in TextEdit and any other word processing app or even in a mail message, you can use Command Up arrow to get to the top of the document and Command Down arrow to get to the bottom.
Read to the end.
If you are in Finder and you are in a list of files, whether it's column view or list view, whatever, you can use Option Up arrow to jump to the top there and Option Down arrow to jump to the bottom or last item. So in Mail, we press the combination Command Option Up arrow to go to the first item, Command Option Down arrow to go to the last item. Let's press Command Option Up arrow now.
Paul Edwards, Media Announce, Tech Talk Tips tonight on Tuesday Topics, 12:10. Please come tonight to be a part of sharing your technological life. Tuesday Topics will once more be available on ACB Media 1 from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday, May 3rd, 2022. For the last few Tuesday Topics, we have dealt with some fairly heavy topics.
Okay, that's nice. Now, that is a preview of the message. We can also get to the message directly by either pressing VOJ or VO right arrow twice. Right now, the message text is displayed to the right of the mailbox, or actually of the messages list. So if we press VO right twice,
Vertical splitter. Paul Edwards, new line. Please come tonight to be a part of sharing your technological life. Tuesday Topics will.
and we could interact in here if we wanted to look more at how words are spelled, but we can also just up and down actually if we might want to interact. And then, well, it's still not letting us up and down arrow. Okay, This is why I don't like, one of the reasons I don't like having my message displayed to the right of my list of messages. The other reason is I don't like items automatically being marked as read as I arrow past them. I'm going to show you how to set it to where you may not have the message appearing to the right, so you can't do things like VOJ, but it will show when a message is unread. The only way it gets marked as read is if you actually press enter on the message, which I find actually is a lot easier way for me to read, and it just makes it a bit more interactive. And I don't want anything marked as read until I actually read it, because I may not go to the side to read it. I may not even
Paul
decide to
Edwards.
listen to the message preview. With that being said, if I VO left,
Message headers group.
so I did interact, so I need to
Out of
uninteract.
message content.
And then I VO left.
Vertical split messages table. Paul Edwards.
Let me just find another message so I can show you the VOJ method.
Paul Edwards. BRL.
All right, same thing. So if I VOJ,
Please come tonight to be a part of sharing your technological life. Please.
and we,
Tuesday topics will for the last few.
so this time pressing
Tuesday
VOJ is letting me up and down arrow. Interesting how that works. Let's press
In
VOJ.
messages table.
And that actually worked well. In the past, showing the message to the right of the messages list and using VOJ has provided for an inconsistent navigation experience. Sometimes you would be in the table, sometimes it wouldn't take you back or it'd take you to the mailboxes table. So it was just very inconsistent, as I said. But now I want to collapse the vertical splitter that's between the messages list and where the message is displayed. Since I used VOJ, I need to uninteract. If I just VO left,
Paul Edwards.
I'm still on the messages. And if
Paul
I VO
Edwards.
right,
BRL.
I'm, still in the message. So I need to uninteract with VO shift up
Out
arrow
of messages table.
and then VO right,
Vertical splitter.
interact in the vertical splitter with VO shift down
In
arrow.
vertical splitter.
And now I want to take this to 100%. It's odd that you have to take it to 100% to collapse it, but so be it. I'm just going to use VO right, press that a few times.
31, 36, 41, 46, 51, 56, 61, 60, 100, 100%.
Uninteract with VO shift up
Out
arrow.
of vertical splitter.
Now VO left.
Messages table. Paul Edwards. BRL. Tech Talk tips tonight on Tuesday topics. 12,
Great. Now if I
08.
down arrow,
Unread. F webinars. Early May schedule and coding symposium. 1207.
and I down arrow
View this
again.
unread. Paul Edwards. Library Talk. Tech Talk tips tonight on
And let's up arrow. Let's make sure we didn't hear wrong.
unread. F webinars. Early May schedule and coding symposium. 12.
Great. So it is still saying unread. Excellent, excellent. That's what we want. Now, how about some other things that we can do via the view menu? The view menu contains options for not only how the messages show in your message list, but also what else is shown on the screen and the fields that are shown when you compose or reply to or forward a message. So let's have a look at the view menu. We go to the menu bar with VOM,
Menu bar. Apple.
press V for view,
View.
down arrow.
View menu. Show tab bar.
Okay. The tab bar, I guess, would be if somehow you manage to
Edit
open
menu.
multiple
View menu.
mailboxes. I'm not sure.
Show tab bar. Show all tabs. Customize touch bar ellipsis. Dim sort by submenu.
Here we have sort by. I prefer to have my messages sorted with the most recent on top, but maybe that's not your way. So let's see how you can change that. If we right arrow
Sort by submenu. Attachments.
and down arrow,
Check mark. Date. Flags. From. Size. Subject. To. Unread. Oldest message on top. Check mark. Newest message on top. Attachments.
and then we're back at the beginning. I'll left arrow.
View menu. Sort by subfilter. Submenu.
Filter, I will show you in a little while.
Use
as I
column
said.
layout.
Okay, use column layout. Right now, I just want to show you something. So
Messages.
when we listened to the messages, let's find one.
Unread. Paul Edwards. Library. 9 message conversation.
Let's
Unread. Malware bytes. Save on protection for you and your loved ones. 1101. Get 30% off Malwarebytes Premium and protect your family and friends from hackers and scammers. Having trouble viewing this message? Click here.
Okay, that's nice. So right now, when we were in View menu, we saw Use Column Layout, and that was unchecked. I am now going to go back to the View menu with VOM
Menu bar, Apple,
and V for View,
View,
Enter.
View, Menu.
Guess I didn't need to press Enter, but that still worked. Press
Use column
US,
layout.
press Enter to check that box. So now everything will be in column layout.
Use column layout, checked.
And if I up arrow and then down arrow again, oh, well, it has a focusing problem. Let's VO left.
282 message toolbar. Favorites bar, mailboxes, vertical splitter, messages,
Here
table.
we go. And I down arrow.
Column 1, row 1. Unread. Andre.
And
Dot
up arrow.
Williams. Dot 1965.
Okay, what is this thing?
Column 1, row 1. Unread. Andre. Dot Will.
Oh, okay. It lost our spot. So let's go back to the Malwarebytes email and the beauty. Oh my goodness. I love Mac Mail because I can simply begin typing MAL and we should find it. So we don't actually have to arrow through a ton of messages. That's one thing I can't do in Outlook. So let me just demonstrate and this should work.
Column 1, row 7. Unread. Malwarebytes. Save on protection for you and your loved ones. 1101.
Great. And now it's just reading that. It did not read anything else except the subject and the time. If I down arrow.
4 message conversation. Collapsed. Unread. Phil, Anders and Joseph. AirPods Max. 1017.
Great.
Column 1, row 9. Unread. Your MyThel team. You have a new test result in MyThelf. 1005.
Okay, so let's go back to the View menu and go to where we left off, Use Column Layout.
Menu bar, Apple.
So I did VOM, V for
View.
View, down
View,
arrow,
menu.
US.
Check mark, use column layout.
I'm going to leave that checked for now. Let's proceed.
Show bottom preview.
Okay, because it is checked, we could show a preview on the bottom. The one we had was on the side, but when you have column view checked, it becomes a bottom preview, apparently.
Show date and time.
Okay, so here we could show the date and the time that the message came in. I do think it already showed the date, but anyway.
Show to/cc label.
Okay, so if I press enter on that.
Show to/cc label checked. 4 message conversation. Collapsed. Unread. Column 1, row 9. Unread. Your MyThel team. 2. You have a new test result in MyThelf. 1005.
Okay, that wasn't very useful.
Column 1, row 10. Unread. Your MyThel team. 2. You have a new test result.
There was nothing in the to field. Okay, that's why. So, you can show that.
Column 1, row 11. Unread. Jilly. Brilliant BIX users, iPad freezing when reading. 0952.
Okay, well, that field may
Menu
not be
bar,
very
Apple,
reliable. So
View.
let's go back to the View,
View,
menu.
show tab bar.
And I'm just going to type US.
Check mark, show bottom preview, show date and check mark, show to/cc label. Show message size. Show contact photo, dimmed, highlight conversations. Check mark, organize by conversation.
Okay, we will talk about threading, and when we turn Organize by Conversation off, when we uncheck it, we will no longer have messages in threads.
Expand all conversations. Collapse all conversations.
This just determines whether all threads are automatically expanded or collapsed by default. So do you have to press right arrow to open a thread or not?
CC address field.
Okay, now when it gets to CC address field, these are the items that can be shown when you're composing a message or responding to a message.
B CC address field command option. B. Reply to address field command option. R. Message submenu.
We have message. There's nothing really in here except about headers and whatever, so I'll skip over that.
Hide related messages dimmed. Hide sidebar command control S.
Again,
Hide
that's
sidebar.
to hide the mailboxes sidebar.
Hide toolbar command option T.
Which when mail actually opens for the first time, that mailbox sidebar may not even be showing. So if you don't find a table with a list of your mailboxes, which by the way, mailboxes is synonymous with folders, then you may want to make sure it is showing.
Hide toolbar command option, T.
And I don't need the toolbar, so I can hide it.
Customize toolbar ellipsis. Hide favorites bar command shift option, H. Enter full screen, F. Show tab bar.
All right, so I'm going to press enter, or actually I'm just going to press escape.
Messages, table.
And I'm going to do Command Option Shift H
Hide favorites bar.
to hide my favorites, Command Option T
Hide toolbar.
to hide my toolbar. And there we go. Now Mail is looking a bit more as I would prefer to use it. I am going to go back to Use Column Layout, make sure that's
Menu bar,
unchecked.
view. View, menu.
And put in US.
Check mark, use column layout.
Press Enter.
Use column layout. Inbox, Chanel 2.
I'm going to go to the top of my inbox again with Command Option Up arrow.
Vertical mailbox, messages, unread. Facebook. A friend wants you to like a page on Facebook. 12.
No, I don't want to do that. So if I just want to delete a message, I can simply press delete, no problem. Or Command delete, it really doesn't matter in the Mail app.
Unread. Andre.williams.196.5@gmail.com. Regarding Very Ultra Replacement Braille Display 1219. Hi all, just ran a quick test on the Focus 14 and Focus 40 Braille displays. These
I'm not really interested in that topic. So the advantage of having column layout unchecked is that I can still hear a preview of a message, and that helps me decide, do I want to read it now? Do I want to read it later? Do I want to delete it? So I find the Use Column Layout having it unchecked is very helpful.
Paul Edwards. Media announce. Tech Talk tips tonight on Tuesday topics. 12.
Okay, what if I want to read this message? I can press Enter.
Media announce. Tech Talk tips tonight on Tuesday topics. Chanel. All mail. Window. Toolbar. Please come tonight to be a part of sharing your technological life. Tuesday topics will once more be available on ACB Media 1 from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday, May 3rd, 2022. For the last few Tuesday topics, we have dealt with some fairly heavy topics.
And okay, that's nice. So I can
Tuesday,
up arrow
please come
down here, same things we did in text edit. Command up arrow to go to the top, command down arrow
equals.
to go to the bottom.
Please.
Move by word, sentence, all that good stuff. But I actually don't want to really do anything with this. So I'm going to press Command W to close
Inbox.
it. So if you want to read a message, you press Enter. Once you're done reading it, you press Command W to close. Okay, let's see what else I have.
Paul Edwards. Unread. F webinars. Early May schedule and coding symposium. 1207. View this email in your
Okay, so I actually want to find an email from the ACB community. So I'm just going to begin typing
9
AC.
unread. ACB Crafters. ACB Crafters.
Oh.
ACB Crafters kits available for order. 0.
I'm not really interested in that. But let's go on. Let's type COM.
Unread. Cindy Hollis. ACB Community Events. Weekly schedule. January.
So what's really cool about that is I could type in COM and it would find, even though that's not even the first few words in the subject, it would still find it.
Cindy Hollis. ACB Community Events. Weekly schedule. January 30, February 5th, 2022. 1/30/22.
Oh, wow.
Community events.
Okay, that really jumped to the end though. No problem.
Paul Edwards.
Let me actually go back to
Cindy Hollis. ACB Community. Paul Edwards.
So I happen to know that today's was sent out by Colby. If I do KO.
Colby Garrison. ACB Community Events. Tuesday schedule. Yesterday. Welcome to a tremendous Tuesday in the community.
Okay, so the search is a bit limited. If you don't remember the exact name that you're looking for, that could be a bit of a problem. So I want to show you, let's say I want to move this message. And so because ACB Community is the 6th mailbox in my favorites, I can simply press Command Control 6.
ACB Community. Unread. Michael McCulloch. Forward. iBug Night at the Virtual Mood.
And ta-da, it moved. Okay. Let's find that email from APH.
Paul Edwards. Unread. Paul Edward. Unread. F webinars. Early May schedule and coding.
So the other way we can move a message is VO Shift M.
Menu.
And we could down arrow all the way through this. I happen to know though that move to and copy to are at the end of the menu. So we just did our context menu there. That is easiest when you're moving a message. If I now up arrow.
Copy to submenu. Move to submenu.
And now if I right arrow,
Move to submenu. All inboxes submenu.
and I have a ton of folders here. I'm going to begin just by typing the word technology.
Test.
Oh, TEC.
Technology.
There we go. And now I'll press enter.
Paul Edwards. BRL. Tech Talk Tips Tonight on Tuesday topic.
All right, what if I didn't mean to move that? I can simply press Command Z
Undo move message.
to undo the move. Okay, let's now go ahead and forward a message. And to do that, we're going to find the one about iBug Night at the
Paul
virtual
Edward.
movies. So again, I went to the top of my mailbox list and I'm just going to type
Unread.
IBU.
Sandhai Rao. iBug Night at the virtual movies, May 6th. Yesterday.
And so
View the
I am making heavy use of this search feature. If I didn't want to, I could, there's nothing wrong with pressing up and down arrow and going through these. I've left a lot of mail unread, so we'd have some for demonstration purposes. To forward this message, I could actually just I could do it from here, Command Shift F to forward, and I'm going to show you all those keyboard commands. We could do the context menu, or we could go to the message menu, and we might as well go there so you can see all of the things that you can do with a message. I'll press VOM
Menu bar. Apple.
and arrow over to message,
Mail. File. Edit. View. Mailbox. Message.
down arrow,
Message. Menu. Send again. Command Shift D. Reply Command R. Reply all. Command Shift R. Forward. Command Shift F.
there's our forward, but let's just look at what else is in this menu.
Forward as attachment. Redirect. Command Shift E. Mark as read. Command Shift U. Move to jump. Command Shift J. Mute. Control Shift M. Flag. Submenu. Set priority. Submenu. Archive. Command Control A. Move to predicted mailbox. Dimmed. Command. Move to submenu. Copy to submenu. Move to technology again. Apply rules. Dimmed. Command Option L. Add sender to contacts. Remove attachments. Dimmed. Send again. Command Shift D. Reply Command R. Reply all. Command Shift R. Forward. Command Shift F.
And I know we've looped back, but since it was already kind of at the top of the menu, I just continued. Now I will press enter on forward.
Forward. Forward. iBug Night at the virtual movies, May 6th. Window 2. Edit text.
Okay, right now I am just going to fill in the minimal amount of info to send this message to you, and then we will actually compose a new message where I'll talk about the fields more in depth. So one great thing though is we have an awesome autocomplete feature, which I'll demonstrate again, but if I simply type
iBug Mac Group, iBug-Mac and talk at groups.io.
and that's
Completion
not exactly
selected.
what I want to
UG Mac
forward
Group.
to. So if I want to find another address, I simply press down arrow
iBug-Mac-training at groups.io.
and press enter.
UG. Selection replaced.
And
Embedded.
there, now I filled in my to field. I am now going to use VO right to go through the rest of my fields here. I don't recommend the tab key, not unless you are really in a hurry and you really know what you're doing, but let's just VO right.
To add CC edit CC add forwarded from Chanel none. Chanel Allen Janellum dot out.
Actually, I do want to change the address in here, so I'm going to press space.
Menu check mark Chanel Allen Herbert Allen Chanel Allen Mac training dot iBug today at none. Begin forwarded message.
And I usually try to clean these up a little bit. So I'm going to interact, and this allows us to review our text selection anyway. So I want to select from here until the last line is subject. And here we go. I'm just going to press down arrow, shift down arrow a few times.
New line, begin forward, new line, from, iBug subject, iBug not date, May 2, Janelle, reply to, new line.
Actually,
Selected.
it's after the reply to. All that's been selected. If I want to verify all that's been selected, I can do VOF6, but I don't need to, so I am going to press delete.
Begin forwarded message from iBug today at gmail.com, subject, iBug.
And that's nice. If I up arrow,
Quote level 1, new line.
We still have the message and it's ready to send or deliver. To deliver a message, we press Command Shift D, as it said in the message menu. It's not Command Shift S for send, so you have to think of Command Shift D for deliver. And I'll press that right now.
Spelling and grammar window.
Okay, I have spelling set to check before I send. I don't think there's anything wrong with this message. Even if there was, I'm not correcting it since it was sent out by iBug. So I simply press escape.
Forward, iBug Night at the Virtual Movies, May 6th, window. Block quote level 1 level 4, table, 1 call.
Sometimes my message doesn't send right away, so I press down
Quote
arrow,
inbox, Chanel 280 messages.
and there it just went. It gets hung up somehow. I don't know why. Okay, so that is forwarding a message. Let's go through message threads real quick, and then we will deal with composing a message. So let's go to the top, Command Option up arrow.
Paul Edwards. Paul Edward unread. F Webben unread. Paul Edward 9 message conversation.
Okay.
Collapsed. Unread. Anders, Angie, Cliff, Phil, Donna Gooden and Herbie. Anyone have any experience with the AirPods Max? 11, 20.
All right.
I love mine.
If we want, it gave all these people the senders. So if we want to actually look at each message in the thread in more detail, we can press right arrow,
Row 6 expanded.
and that expands the thread. Now I'm going to down arrow.
Unread. Anders Holmberg, 11, 20. Hi, I am not surprised it doesn't sound that good for studio use. They're not made for that. People who I talk to on the phone with them doesn't complain anyway. /A. The following information is important for all members of the Mac Visionaries list. If you have any questions or concerns.
Okay, again, now if I want to read this message, I could press enter. Looks like we already heard it, but if I wanted to, just as a review, press enter.
Regarding, anyone have any experience with the AirPods Max? Chanel, all.
Great. And now what do I do if I want to close the message? I'm done reading it. If you said Command Q or escape, not correct. But nice A for effort. We'll do Command W. Command W to close a message. Since it is in its own window, Command W will close it.
Close. Inbox, Chanel 281 messages, 45 unread, window, messages table. Anders Holmberg, 11, 20. Hi, I unread. Anders Holmberg, 11, 16. Hi, yes, I had to do it yesterday, which was a bit irritating.
Okay, so we could just keep reading that thread. If we go to the View menu and uncheck View as Conversations, I'll show you what that does.
Menu bar, Apple.
So V for View, down arrow.
View menu.
VI.
Use column layout.
Oh.
Show side preview.
Well, that wasn't exactly what.
Show date and time. Check mark. Show to. Show message. Show highlight check mark. Organize. Expect. Check mark. Organize by
I should have typed OR. See, if you don't remember precisely what you're searching for, you're going to be a little bit disappointed. I wasn't disappointed. It's like, oh yeah, oops, forgot. But that's okay. I found it by pressing down arrow. So I will press return now.
Organize by conversation.
Now, if I go to the top of my message list.
Unread. iBug Mac training. iBug Paul Edwards. Paul Edwards. Unread. F Web unread. Paul Edwards. Live Anders Holmberg. Regarding, anyone have any experience with the AirPods Max? 11.
So that was the first message of our thread. If I down arrow.
Unread. Anders Holmberg. Regarding, anyone have any experience with the AirPods Max? Unread. Malwarebytes. Unread. Angie Nutt. Regarding, anyone have any experience with the AirPods Max? Unread. Cliff. Regarding, anyone have any? Unread. Phil Helton. Regarding, unread. Phil Helton. Unread. Your Mythel team. Unread. Your Mythel. Unread. Jilly. Brilliant B. Unread. David Goldfield. Unread. Tom Tobin. FW. Ace. Unread. ACB Crafters.
All right. So it told us there were 9 messages in that thread. We saw, I think, 6 of them very close together. But basically, what happened is that when we turned off Organized by Conversation, Organized by Thread, it put the messages just scattered throughout the inbox instead of all together in, well, one thread. So I prefer my things as threads. That way all the stuff on one topic appears together.
Menu bar,
I'm
Apple.
going to press, go to the menu bar and then V for View and down arrow.
View menu.
And now I'm going to do OR.
Organize by conversation.
Press enter to check.
Organize by conversation. Checked.
Okay, so let's see what are some other things we can access in the context menu for a message.
To message
If
conversation.
I do,
Collapsed. Unread. iBug and said hi. Paul
let's
Edwards.
see.
Paul Edwards. Unread. F webinars, early May schedule and coding symposium, 12:0.
Okay, so here are the things you can do if you just press VO Shift M. If you don't remember keyboard shortcuts and you don't want to go to the menu bar, we can do VO Shift M.
Menu. Open. Send again. Reply. Reply all. Forward. Forward as attachment. Redirect. Mark as read. Move to junk. Mute. Delete. Flag. Archive. Move to recovered messages. Chanel. Move to submit. Copy to sub. Open.
And now we're back to open. So
Messages.
there's a lot of things you can do with messages.
Unread. F.
Let's
F
say
webinars.
I
Early
want to
May.
mark this message as read. Well, I can do Command Shift U, I believe.
Mark as read.
And, oh, I changed my mind. I can do Command Shift U again.
Mark as unread. Unread. Paul Edwards.
I could flag the message. I forget if there was a keyboard shortcut, but if I wanted to do flag, I would go to Message, and then I would look for flag in the message menu. Okay, actually, I forgot about the other task that I want to cover before we send a message.
To message.
Let's take a look at our mailboxes table. And we're going to press VO left twice.
Vertical splitter.
VO left arrow.
Mailboxes table. Chanel, 45 unread.
You may have noticed, and I should have brought it up sooner, that I've not done any interaction in the messages table or mailboxes table. That's because, well, I don't need to. However, in the mailboxes table, if you want to see the structure of how the folders are laid out, you may want to interact. And I'm going to have us do that now. I'll press VO Shift down arrow.
In mailboxes table. Chanel, 40.
And now I'm going to do Command Option up arrow.
All inboxes. Expanded 5 items enclosed. Level 2.
It is expanded. If I want to collapse it, I can press left arrow.
Row 2 collapsed.
Or to expand it again, right arrow.
Row 2 expanded. Chanel, 45 unread. Herbie Chanel, 1 unread. Mac Train Comcat Herbie, all drafts, 2 unread. Collapse level 2.
And now I do see things like all drafts. I want to actually get down to the individual accounts. But let's
Row
say
8
we do
expand.
it,
Chanel,
look at all
2 unread.
drafts.
Herbie Chanel.
And I've changed my mind, or I'm done looking at Herbie Chanel, so I'm going to press left arrow once.
All drafts. Expanded
to
5
get
items enclosed.
to
Level 2.
the main menu there, and again,
Row 8 collapsed.
to collapse. So once you've actually viewed things, you may want to press left arrow twice to collapse. You press it once to open, twice to collapse. I'm actually going to go up to, I did want to show you something
Herbie,
in the
Comcast, Mac, Herbie Chanel, for all inboxes.
all
Expanded 5
inboxes,
items.
which is expanded. So if I do down arrow,
Chanel, Herbie Chanel, 1 unread.
and if I VO right,
Mac Training, 1 Herbie Chanel,
oh, that's right, we interacted. I always forget about that. I would uninteract
out of mailboxes table.
and then VO right twice.
Vertical split messages table. Connie Hill, Santai Rao, iBug Mentee assignment.
Okay, so now I'm seeing messages.
Sue Allen,
Oh,
unread.
come on.
eBay, changes to
That are
Uber was
specific
unread.
to the Herbie Chanel inbox, whereas before we saw messages just in Chanel. And if we did VOF2,
inbox, Herbie Chanel 378.
it says inbox Herbie Chanel. So if I VO left
Vertical split
twice,
mailboxes table.
go up to Chanel,
Chanel, 45 unread.
VO right,
Vertical splitter, messages table. 2 message
go to the
conversation,
top.
collapsed, unread. iBug and send hi.
and then if I do VOF2 again,
Inbox, Chanel 200.
so what you show in the mailboxes table will reflect in the window title, not only in the window title, but in the messages that are displayed to the right of the
Vertical
mailboxes
split
table.
mailboxes.
So I just want you to get that understanding. Practice going into mail. Maybe you don't have different accounts, so that's fine. Go ahead and create yourself a folder in mail, and I should talk about how to do that. And then, just practice moving from your accounts, your different accounts, to your messages. All right, let's interact
In
again.
mailboxes table. Chanel, 45 unread. So Herbie Chanel, Mac Com Herbie, all sent. Chanel, Herbie Chanel, Mac Herb Chanel, all sent. Expanded 5.
All sent is expanded, so I want to collapse that. Since I didn't actually go to one of the folders inside, I can press left arrow once
Row 9 collapsed.
to collapse.
All trash. Expanded 5 items.
Oh, I want to collapse all trash. I'm going to press left arrow once to collapse.
Row 10 collapsed. All archive, 32,296 unread. Collapse level 2.
Good, that's
ACB community.
collapsed. Okay, now I am seeing folders in Chanel. Right now I've only been pressing down arrow. If I VO up,
All archive, 32,296 unread. Collapsed.
and if I VO down,
ACB community.
oh, I was expecting for it to actually show me, like say Chanel dimmed, and that would
In
be
edit text. Out of edit
all the
text.
folders
All archive, 30 ACB community.
in Chanel. But it is
All
not
arc
doing that
all
for
send,
some
all draft,
particular
Herbie,
reason.
Comcast, Mac, Herbie Chanel, 2 Chanel, 45 unread. Herbie, Mac,
Okay,
all send,
no
all
worries.
AC, class, inbox,
So
out of mail.
it used to be that when you were in the mailboxes table and you didn't interact, you couldn't actually see which folders belonged in which
Boxes table.
accounts. You had to interact in order to see that, okay, ACB community is part of the Chanel account, whereas important information way further down is part of Herbie Chanel. So if I want to move to one, let's say I want to move to important information. If I press IM
Important information.
and if I interact,
In mailboxes table. Important information.
and
Selected.
let's see if this actually does show it under Herbie Chanel. So if I VO up arrow,
Herbie,
or just
one
up,
Hadley,
it doesn't matter.
DB Church Chanel Bookship Blinds Note Archive Trash Junk 2 Sent Drafts Inbox 2 Herbie Chanel expanded 25 items enclosed
okay.
level 1.
So Herbie Chanel is expanded. Now, if we were not interacted,
inbox drafts test 2 test.
We go from the folders in my Comcast account
iBug, trash iBug
to
test 2 inbox 2 unread.
The inbox in Herbie Chanel. How do I know that? Because I've gotten to know the order that the accounts appear. If I wasn't sure, I would interact. So for some reason, all the folders in Chanel are just there. It doesn't show they belong to Chanel, but the other accounts, it does show, indeed, when you interact, that certain folders belong to those accounts. Okay, so we can use first, again, I could do TE for technology.
Technology.
And if I VO right.
Vertical split messages. Belinda Collins. Ask an ad expert. 12.
So again, I'm seeing all the items in
Vertical
technology.
Mailboxes table.
I'm going to now go to the top.
All inbox.
And down to Chanel.
Vertical messages table.
And now we are ready to send a message. Remember our universal new command. A new document, a new Finder window, a new message. Because I know you know what it is, I'm going to just press it. And if you can't find it, well, go ahead and look in the menu bar, but you should know this keyboard command.
New message, window, 2, edit text.
I'm going to start by just typing in a few email addresses using the autocomplete feature, and then we will go into how to add something from the contacts. So if I just begin here, I could even type in my own name. So C.
Chanel.
H.
Anel Marie Allen, janellum.allen@gmail.com. Text selected.
Okay, so it reads me what's its first selection. If I wanted to down arrow because I didn't like that email.
Kristefanovsky 5,
oh,
Chanel
dear.
Marie Allen, janellum.allen@Kristefan Chanel Marie Allen, chm.allen2011@gmail.com.
That's kind of clunky. It put somebody else's name in between one of my email addresses.
Charles Platt, C. Charles at ACBO, Charlene K. Chanel Marie Allen, Chanel at 98.
Interesting. All right. So I actually do want to go back up to the first Chanel.
Chanel Marie Allen, janellum.allen@gmail.com.
And press enter.
Selection replaced. Embedded. Chanel Marie.
Now I want to actually add several email addresses here. And how can I do that? Well, right now I can just keep typing. So let's say I put in Sandhya. If I do
send hire now, srayo texas at gmail.com.
And I happen to be fine with that, so I'll press enter.
Replaced. Embedded.
If I want to add Michael, I could do capital M.
Michael McCulloch, MD
and
McCulloch,
press enter.
Embedded.
And it came up with his name right away, probably because I've been sending to Sandhya and Michael quite often. Okay, let's try to find something in contacts. How would I do that? So let's VO right
to add contacts button.
to the add contacts button.
3 items. Search text field. Blank.
And we have a search field. I don't really think that's useful because that's kind of what we were doing in the previous step. Maybe this actually searches your contacts, whereas the other one just searches autocomplete. So if I VO right,
Group list table. All contacts.
and I want to leave it at all contacts, other things in there include all iCloud, on this Mac, and there's several others.
Empty scroll area.
Empty scroll area, well, I know I need to automatically interact with a scroll area.
In contact list table. My card. Level 1.
And if I'm just pressing VO down arrow.
Chanel Allen. Chanel Moore. A. Access Linda Affinity Malik Juan Ellis Herbert M. Herbie Allen. Contact info table.
All right, so now I have Herbie Allen. So let's say we wanted to add him. If I VO shift down arrow so we can interact with his name.
In Herbie Allen. Contact info table. Sell 2 items. Has alternate items. Herbie Allen.
And if I VO right
Contact info table.
and I interact again, maybe I didn't need to interact the first time. I can never quite keep that straight. But it says contact info table. And yes, I've told you some tables you don't need to interact. Since there are several groups of information in this table, I'm going to want to interact in the table so I can choose the correct one. So VO shift down arrow.
In contact info table. Home email pop-up button. Herbie. Home email pop-up button. chm.allen2011@gmail.com pop-up button.
Okay, what if I wanted to put that one in there? Let's see
Email
what else
other
he
email
has.
pop-up button. Herbie@986demx.com
Oh, we'll
pop-up
just
button.
put that one in there. Okay, so if I VO space.
Other 2 add contacts button.
All right, and so there we go. We just put in Herbie's email. So now let's VO left.
Embedded Chanel Marie Allen attached.
And if we decided, oh, there's another address we want to actually type in here, let me show you how to do that. I'm going to right arrow.
Embedded Chanel Marie. Embedded Herbie Allen. Embedded Herbie.
Now let's say I'm going to put in another one of Herbie's addresses. So I wanted to press right arrow to make sure that what I had already put in here was not overwritten. So if I type actually, let's see if we can do the iBug Today one. So if I type
IBug Mac training at
and
groups.
maybe that wasn't such a good idea. If I down arrow.
iBug Mac group. Ibrahim Khalil iBug Today at gmail.com.
There we go. And I press enter.
Completion select iBug. iBug Today at selection replaced. Embedded.
Now, if we look at our 2 fields.
Toolbar. Embedded Chanel Marie Allen attached text. Embedded Sandhire Rao attached text. Embedded Michael McCulloch attached text. Embedded Herbie Allen attached text. Embedded Sandhire Rao attached text. Insertion at end of text.
Well, we have her in there
edit
twice, but the important thing is we didn't accidentally delete an address. So anytime if you add in something from your contacts and then you decide you're going to add in something else, or just in general, if you want, make sure you press right arrow before you begin adding other addresses. Okay, let's move on.
To add contacts, CC, edit text.
In the view menu, we could choose whether CC or BCC are shown or hidden. There's nothing really special here.
CC, add contacts button.
They also have add contacts buttons by them.
Subject, edit text.
We'll just call this test and
Test.
VO right.
From Chanel Allen Janellum.allen@gmail.com. Pop-up button.
Since I have several
which
email accounts and I prefer to decide myself which account messages are sent from, I press space and then actually Herbie was telling me I could just down arrow. I don't even need to press space. So let's just down arrow.
Menu check mark Chanel Allen Janellum.allen@gmail. Herbert Allen Chanel Allen Mac Training.ibug Today @gmail.com.
I'll go ahead and press that.
Chanel Allen Mac
Press
Training. None. Signature pop-up button.
Signatures I will try to cover next week.
Edit text.
And then I could just type hello.
Hello, comma, new line.
Are we having
fun
yet?
Question mark.
And now let's talk about sending an attachment. So what I liked, you can actually put attachments anywhere in an email. But I'm going to just sign my name.
New line.
And I like to do that. I like to do a center the line. And if you remember from our text edit, that's Command Shift \\,
Center.
which I don't actually expect you to remember that because it's a bit obscure. And I'll type in regards.
Regards, comma.
New
New
line.
line.
Chanel.
Chanel. New line.
And now I'm going to go to Finder for my attachment. I will press Command Tab,
Zoom us. Finder. Finder. Desktop. Set up files. Alias.
Command
Actions
Shift
available.
O to get to my documents,
Documents. Documents. Window. Column view.
and down arrow.
Text edit. Voice dream. Zoom. Attachment demonstration RTF. Rich text document.
Copy with Command C,
Copy attachment demonstration RTF.
Command Tab,
Mail. Mail. Test. Window. Hello. New line.
Command V to paste.
Paste.
And
Chanel.
if I do up arrow and then down arrow,
Attachment demonstration RTF attached image.
and there we go. It's attached. I don't actually want to send this message. I'll press Command W and we'll be prompted to save.
Close. In dialog, alert, don't save button.
We
Save
don't want to
messages
save.
table. 2 message
And that's all there is to it. Now for viewing attachments. To do this, I'm going to make use of the filter. And I'll go to the View menu with VOM. Actually, I could even just enable the filter. I happen to remember that the command for doing so is Command L.
No row selected.
Well, it should have been. Let's go to the View menu
Menu bar, Apple, View.
and down arrow,
View menu, show tab bar, show all tab, customize, sort by, filter, submenu.
right arrow.
Filter, submenu, disable message filter command, L.
All right, so we enabled it. Now if I down arrow,
Include, dimmed, unread. Flagged. Addressed, to, me, CC, check mark, only mail with attachments.
okay, only mail with attachments is already selected from yesterday. If I wanted to select that, I would press Enter. Yesterday, when I tried to enable this filter, I first unchecked unread. Well, that didn't quite work out too well. The filter, it didn't, all the other things, once I checked unread and I did that first, all of the other things were dimmed. So I needed to choose attachments first and then go back up and uncheck unread. It's a little bit convoluted, but it will help us find an attachment more easily in this cluttered mailbox, which normally isn't so cluttered. I'll press Escape,
Messages table.
and now I'll go to the top with Command Option up
5
arrow
message conversation. Collapsed. Unread. Patty and Victoria.
and down arrow. Actually, we are going to
12.
well, okay. Anyway, I'm going to down arrow.
Darcy at Bernard.net. Dice World scores. 4.
There we go. Here's one I want to have us look at. So if I press Enter,
Dice World scores. Chanel. All mail. Window. Toolbar. Hi Herbie and Chanel.
and if I Command down arrow to get to the bottom of my message.
Let's play Dice World template numbers attachment.
Okay, in this message, we actually have 2 attachments.
Let's play Dice World April 29th.
And so what I could do is go to the File menu and go to Save All Attachments. But I just want to show you what you can do on one file. So if we VO Shift M
Menu.
and then down arrow,
Open attachment.
we could actually open it directly. I've done that before.
Open with submenu. Quick look attachment. Save attachment ellipsis.
As long as I trust the source,
Save to downloads
that
folder.
is, I'd open it.
Share submenu. Copy. Speech submenu. Open attachment.
Unfortunately, we can't use the same copy-paste command that we did for including an attachment. We actually need to go to Save.
Open
And
with
we'll do that.
quick look at save attachment ellipsis.
I press Enter here.
Save attachment. In dialog, save. Let's play tags. Tag edit back dimmed forward column view menu button. Change the item
We
grouping.
have our
Hold
typical
down
save, although mine was, I had to do the show more options and expand that the other day.
Chanel Herbie. Where? Pop-up button. Show less options. Search text field. New folder button. Sidebar table. Chanel Herbie.
What if I don't want it to go in Chanel
In
Herbie?
sidebar
So
table.
I can do, I'm in my sidebar, I've added some other things to it.
Malin. Home image. Chanel. Move image. Malin. Chanel Herb ACB. Move image. Mac training. Move image. Actions available.
All right, let's say I wanted to put it in Mac training. I could do
Out of
that.
sidebar table.
So it's going there, and then I press Enter,
Hi Herbie and Chanel. I'm Sin.
and it's saved. Just so you know,
Menu
we
bar, app,
can go to
mail,
Save All Attachments in the File menu.
File. New message. New viewer window. Open mess. Close command. Save. Dimmed. Save as ellipsis. Attach files ellipsis. Save attachments ellipsis.
Or Save Attachments.
Save attachments. In dialog. Open. Column view. Browser. Vertical split. Sidebar table. Mac training. New folder.
And
Sidebar.
we
Vertical
still
split. Column
have
view.
remembered the same thing that we saved to last time.
Cancel. Save button.
Okay,
Back
and
dimmed
I
but
think it
forward
was
dim
just
column
going
view.
to
Change the item save
save.
button.
I think it just saves, you choose the one folder where you want all of them to go. So if I press VO space,
Hi Herbie and Chanel. I'm sending this to both of you because
and if I then want to go look to
Finder.
see if it put it there,
Finder.
let me just
Close
close
window. Set up
and go to
files.
my
Mac
desktop,
training alias. Actions available.
Command down arrow to
Open
open,
selection. Mac training window.
right
Palm
arrow,
applications. Folder. Let's Play Dice World April 29th. Numbers. Let's Play Dice World Template 1 numbers. Let's Play Dice World Template numbers.
All
Number
right, so
spreadsheet.
it did save them both, but it just created an extra copy. That is saving attachments. Not much to it. Oh yes, I
Finder.
forgot to show you how to view attachments that are music files.
Zoom us.
And to do that,
Mail.
I have
Mail.
one pulled up here.
Cindy Victoria Ziegler. Regarding audiobook pronunciations.
As always, I'll press enter to open the message.
Regarding Hi Chanel.
Now, here is one place and only one place in Mail where you want to press the tab key. Press tab to get into the audio controls. Yesterday, I actually tried VO right arrow and that was okay for playing, but it didn't actually give me the appropriate options for saving the attachment. I'm going to press tab now.
Audio controls. Audio playback.
And press tab one more time.
Play button. Audio
and
controls
press
group.
just space or VO space. I don't think it matters.
Okay.
Okay, that's nice. Now let's save it. VO Shift M.
Menu.
Down arrow.
Open attachment. Open with submit quick look attachment. Save attachment ellipsis.
Save attachment.
Save attachment. In dialog, save. Perfect Pet Poems Audio Pronunciation Guide M4A. Content.
If I want to actually
back
choose a
dimmed
different
button.
location that's in the Where pop-up button,
Forward dimmed. Column view. Change the item grouping. Chanel. Where. Pop-up button.
I'll press space.
Menu.
And
Check mark. Chanel. Dropbox. Malin command. Dropbox. Malin command. Shift H.
we'll just save it under CMalin. Press enter.
Malin. Where.
Press enter again to save.
Hi Chanel. I sent you a text.
And we're done. And I'll press Command W to close the
Close.
message.
Inbox. Chanel. Filter by.
And now that is indeed everything I want to show you. Oh yes, let's turn the filter off with Command L.
Disable message filter.
There we go. All right, you may unmute.
I was confused about the vertical splitter. Why did you have to do it 100%? It's like maximizing in other operating systems, right? Is that to hide the view messages?
Yeah,
right?
so it is. And it's actually, it collapses the vertical splitter to set it to 100%. And what that does is it hides the view pane to the right. And the reason I like to hide the view pane is I don't want my messages automatically being marked as read as I arrow through my mailbox.
Okay, thanks.
Bumi,
Yes, Bunmi?
in the context menu of the mail, there's something called apply rules. What does that mean?
Okay, so you can create your own rules based for messages. I don't really use the rules on the Mac. I tend to use filters on Gmail, and then they apply more broadly whether I'm checking my mail on my Mac or my iPhone or a Windows computer. Whereas if I just create rules on the Mac, I don't think that they will apply across devices. But you could create a rule of something like, okay, if a message, certain messages from blah blah blah, send it to this folder or delete it or mark it as important or whatever. The rules just, you specify given criteria that you want to happen, or you specify messages, and then those rules are applied based on that criteria.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Are there any additional questions?
It's Nikki. I have one question, and I
Sure.
apologize. I kind of missed this a little bit. Why is it that you uncheck the show as columns?
Okay, so that way I would actually still get kind of a preview or summary of the message. I would hear the first couple lines of the message being read, and that kind of gave me, it's like a preview.
Oh, so if you have it at the, not at the right, and you have the columns turned on, you don't get that preview?
Correct.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I like that preview.
This is Kim.
Yes, Kim.
I'm still trying to figure out, and I know we'll probably talk about reading next week, but I can't figure out how to get into a message so that I can read it myself line by line.
Yeah, so that's where I mentioned pressing enter on a message. Are you able to do that?
I pressed enter on a message, but it was already wanting to read it to me. So I didn't know how to back up and get back into that another way.
Right. When you press enter on the message, it should come up as a separate window, and then you should be able to press the up and down arrows and just move around inside the
Ah,
message. What may
okay.
be happening is if you have not collapsed that vertical splitter to the right, your message may still act like it's there to the right of your messages table, and it probably still is, but it'll actually be better to have it open in its own separate
In
window.
its whole window. Yeah, I
Yeah.
read that in the reading, and I couldn't when I went into mail to practice, I couldn't get it to work, and so I guess I will shrink up that divider, whatever you call it.
Yeah, it's the one to the right of the table that actually shows your messages, and you want to set it all the way to
To 100.
100%. Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and I would have to interact with that to do that, right?
Yes, you would.
Okay.
This is Becky.
Yes, Becky.
Say if you have an attachment like a PDF file, can you just copy it with a Command C, right, and then paste it somewhere, or do you have to go?
No. I
No?
said
Okay.
I said in my thing that's unfortunately it'll work to include attachments like that, but not to actually save them or copy them when you
Okay.
receive an attachment. So
I missed
unfortunately,
it.
no.
Yeah, that would be easy if it would do that. Okay, thank you.
I know, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So next time, the couple things that I forgot to mention, we'll go over searching for messages, actually conducting a proper search rather than just typing in the first few letters in your mailbox. And I'll show you that there's a list of autocomplete addresses. It's in the window menu and it's show previous recipients. I'll show you that. And then next week we'll talk about adding accounts. I'll have us add a few different accounts and we'll go through some of the settings for mail. But today was just to give you an overview, and the recording and the questions will be coming out. With all of that, I am going to say goodbye and see you at the study session on Thursday.